Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading video. In this video we will be discussing what your next big celebration will be, but also when it will happen, and if not when it will happen, we can talk about any major revelations that will be happening during the time frame or dates listed for your pick a card reading. Here is stack 1A, stack 2B, stack 3C. You can pause if you'd like and if you need some more time to figure out which stack you're most drawn to. If you're not drawn to any of the stacks, that's completely fine. This just might not be the pick a card reading video for you. I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. Alright, let's get into it. Hello 1A and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The tarot cards here are the Four of Cups upright, the Queen of Swords upright, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. I love the Six of Pentacles imagery, by the way. I love tile floors like that. Anyway, the Oracle cards are Words of Abundance, Solar Calm, Clarify, Mercury Retrograde, and Let It Be a Mystery. For Words of Abundance, underneath the card it says, you have the ability to instantly manifest abundance by choosing powerfully positive words. Always, always describe your own and the world's economic situation in loving and optimistic terms, and that is what you attract for yourself and others. And then for Mercury retrograde, it says electronic issues, communication issues, review everything. And I will say there very much is more of a mercurial vibe to this stack. You could be a Virgo sun or Gemini sun, or you could just have strong or heavy placements in those, or you could have transits or progressions going through those signs right now that are important for you. But it's really interesting how we have Let It Be a Mystery here. I love it when like the cards read me to fill, so hopefully you do too a little bit. But with this, it makes me think that okay, the Four of Cups indicates to me that you've been waiting for this thing to happen. I think a lot of you know what this celebration is about, what it will be. This is something that you have been planning for and working hard for. It's not going to be like a surprise. It will be something that you've been putting effort into. And so I think the Let It Be a Mystery isn't what the celebration will be, but it could be when, but I think the Mercury retrograde is when it will happen, during a Mercury retrograde, which is really funny because Mercury retrograde typically isn't a thing to celebrate. Oh yeah, this is Mercury retrograde, and it's funny because even without that I'm getting mercurial vibes, but anyway, and the mystery part gives me Scorpio vibes, but it feels like when the celebration will happen will be during a Mercury retrograde, or it will be right after a Mercury retrograde ends, if that makes sense, if not during. And either way, Mercury retrograde, the next upcoming one, maybe, I haven't checked, maybe it's happening during this reading, like it's already happening, so it could be during this time. If you don't feel it resonates with this Mercury retrograde, if there's one going on right now, then it would be the next one. But I feel like whatever the next one is, or the current one, if it's current right now, I should have checked. I was going to, but I forgot. Which is very Mercury retrograde coded of me. But if it's just happening right now or happens during the next Mercury retrograde, that's just extra confirmation. Be extra careful. We already know that during Mercury retrogrades, things can be all over the place. And with it saying also, let it be a mystery, that can make things even more tense. But anyway, with the Four of Cups, this does indicate to me that you've been waiting for a while for the celebration to happen, and you've been probably working quite hard for this to happen. With the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it indicates to me that this is a solo celebration. It's not something like a bunch of people celebrating a joint birthday or a bunch of people together opening a business. This feels very much like a solo journey type situation. And it's really weird. The Queen of Swords upright energy for this stack, paired with everything, was giving me very much manifesting energy. But that's really weird because typically people will tell you during a Mercury retrograde to not manifest. So I don't think during Mercury retrograde you should be doing any manifesting or anything. But Queen of Swords energy also lets me know that you have been planning for this. So again, putting in the time and effort for this celebration to come to fruition and planning for it, almost planning when it will happen. So it could be like a graduation date or a start date for something, like for work or a project or school. Some sort of start or end date could be very important here, but it feels like the celebration is something that you could be able to prepare for. And it's really interesting because I wasn't getting, usually with these I get a sense of what kind of vibe it is in terms of, for you all. In this case, it would be what specifically you would be celebrating. But I really am not getting anything clear. And it makes sense too because we have the let it be a mystery part. So maybe part of it is that the card is telling me not to be too specific about it. But if you have an idea in mind for something you've been working on or striving toward, then you should know the general idea. But I think Spirit in general doesn't want for you to be too specific about how you want this celebration to happen or how you want this achievement that leads to a celebration to happen. I think that they want you to be able to just relax a bit. And it's interesting because we have the words of abundance, right? And it talks about manifesting. I think some of you have been patiently waiting or working so hard for something in your life to happen or to come to fruition or to just be rewarded for your efforts that sometimes you don't necessarily think the most positively of your situation. And so that's why with the Four of Cups, it's like you've just been waiting. But, and I'm not saying put on some like rose-colored glasses and think everything is all peachy keen and everything is all the time amazing, especially because of this Mercury retrograde energy. But there's a sense that you'll be able to have the celebration happen once you think more positively about the situation again for some of you. And for those of you who that doesn't relate to, this is just indicative of if you want for this achievement or celebration to happen, you can manifest it into existence through the power of your words. So, there's different ways to manifest. A lot of people also do it with visualizations or meditation, but for you, it would be good to use your words, especially I'm seeing like out loud, to say things out loud. Like have manifestations or have things written around your room and then say things out loud. And also have a calendar if you can. And then like specifically if you want to like circle or star a date when you want something to happen. Because it does really feel like this should be planned. And if it's not something that's planned, but it can be, I would look into trying to plan this. But try to do it at a time when it's not Mercury retrograde. The energy I'm getting is that continue to do, and with the solar calm too, I'll read in the guidebook for that. I won't put it on screen, but I'll read the guidebook for that in just a little bit. But what I am getting is that you should continue just doing what you're doing, even though you have to be patient in the meantime. Be patient, even though you've probably already been patient, or you just don't want to be right now. Be patient for allowing yourself to... I'm trying to think about how to relay this. Before I started your reading as well, and I was looking at your cards as I was laying them out in front of me, I was thinking of, or looking at both the Solar Calm and the Let It Be a Mystery card. And it's really interesting that both of those are there, because you would think with Solar Calm and Clarify that would mean you need more clarity for your situation. But when I was reading here, I'll just read the guidebook right now, actually, because that would make sense to do that since I'm on that topic. But I was confused by that being there and the Let It Be a Mystery card, and then just the fuzziness of Mercury retrograde, but then also the abundance and manifesting card. But anyway, let me just read this excerpt in the guidebook. So it says solar calm, clarify, challenge. It is not the time to push ahead or spark change. If you try to motivate practical change in your life or try a totally new approach, it can feel like trying to light a match in the fog. Be patient and the fog will clear in time, yes. Gift. Meditation helps. Turn down the noise of the outer world and listen with clarity to the knowing within. Let go of the details of the story and feel the call to spirit, to connection and to the interconnectedness of all existence. In the celebration, clarity... Wait, sorry, wait. Oh, sorry. In this clarity, you can see far away to the distant stars and come to understand the overarching patterns. So... yeah, there's really a sense that you should let go of the end result and let go of expectations. That's a big thing. Let go of expectations of how you think things should go, or because you've already done the planning. So whenever the next Mercury retrograde is, really have that time to not really do much and just keep doing what you're doing, but try not to add anything extra. Like, try not to plan during a Mercury retrograde. Wait until it's after or before. What this could be saying too is to plan around a Mercury retrograde. So maybe you wanted something to happen on a certain date, but it would happen during a Mercury retrograde. So this could indicate that it would happen, or just to let you know that it could happen if you plan it on a certain date. And so if you wanted to schedule around that, you could. But I think a lot of you want to know the specifics, and really Spirit just does not want to give you much specifics, except for to say that let some parts of this be a mystery. You've already put in the effort and the planning to allow this celebration to occur. Don't overthink it and don't think too much about it, especially during a Mercury retrograde period, because everything can get a lot more confusing. And yeah, try not to enact too many changes right now. Yeah, it says not the time to push ahead or spark change. So just keep doing what you're doing, even though I think a lot of you want to push past that. Some of you also with this might want to have something happen sooner than it needs to. Like, if I'm talking about a Mercury retrograde, but you're planning on something happening during a retrograde, it would actually probably be better to wait until after a retrograde period as opposed to before. Or if you're just trying to push anything closer, I think some of you are going to try to cut corners. And this is a time where if you do that, it's going to allow for more mistakes and it could delay the celebration from happening. Yeah, it's like, normally it's really not like this with these stacks, but the sense is just that be logical, don't be too much in your head, and this next celebration is something that you know is going to happen. Like, even if it's an engagement, a wedding, like, you know it's going to happen. So don't worry about it so much. If you have like a move date, for example, maybe some of you too could be moving during a Mercury retrograde. I know that's a lot. And for stuff like that, sometimes you can't really help or move or schedule around those things too much. So just be careful of anything happening that is off course or off schedule, if that makes sense. A lot of you feel like you're heavy planners, or at least around whatever the celebration is. So Spirit is saying just roll with the punches. Try not to look too much into what these things could indicate. I just think it's a way almost to test you too, to see if the celebration is really worth something celebrating, or if there's anything you need to do as well before you can fully embrace this change or this celebration. That's the best way that I can describe this, but try not to be too in-depth, because they're also, I think with the Let It Be a Mystery card, Spirit is saying like there's likely going to be things that pop up that happen before, during, or after this celebratory time that could change your viewpoint, and Spirit doesn't want you to look too much into those things. It's just that things change and evolve, but you shouldn't push anything. If there's revelations that come to you, then so be it. That's great. Try not to, or maybe it's not a great situation, but then just try to, like, I'm seeing it, I'm getting that phrase in my head, like Jinx Monsoon says, like water off a duck's back. Try not to be too deeply affected by anything that could interfere with this celebration. It's still likely to happen, or there could be delays, you know, or just not happen in the way you want it to. But either way, I think the less expectations you have, the less disappointed you'll be in the celebration or its outcome. So thank you so much, 1A. I will leave it at that. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack at all. And you can comment, wait, what did I say? Yeah, you can like the video. You can comment down below if you resonate with the stack. And you can update your comment as well in the future if you have any updates to provide for all of us. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. And I have an ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR, that you can check out down below in the video description. Thank you so much again, 1A, and take care. Hello, 2B, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards here are the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the 9 of Swords in reverse, and the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. And then for the Oracle cards, we have Clearing Debts, and it says your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You'll already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. And then we have 26 Neptune vision. We have patience, just a few more months. Good things come to those who wait. And then we have 5 amazing chemistry, terrible timing. That, I mean, I don't know how much I'll be able to elongate this reading or anything, because I feel like the messaging of this is very straightforward. I'll just read what's in the guidebook for Neptune right away, so I don't forget that or anything. So I won't have it on screen, but it says challenge. Neptune overwhelm can turn acceptance into passivity, imagination into illusion, sensitivity and the hunger for spirit into addiction. Watch for water damage. Gift. Allow yourself to float, to swim in the great ocean of the collective consciousness. Soak up the presence of divine soul. There is no separation between you and all sentient beings, between you and the realms of gods and spirits. So this stack is definitely about finances, and it couldn't be, I mean, already the tarot cards provide a very clear picture for me, but especially that Clearing Debts card, it's like this is definitely about finances. So the next celebration you'll have is about being able to clear any financial debts that you have, pay off any loans. For some of you though, this could involve making a big leap in finances, and by that I mean making a big purchase that maybe is quite scary, and maybe it's like the biggest purchase you've ever done, and like maybe you just flat out, you know, or with a loan, but maybe you buy a car, or maybe you buy a house, maybe you buy something that, like a big couch. There's something that in that sense could be relevant to you as well, finally making a very big purchase. But for many of you, I think it will be about finally paying off debt in some way. And it could even be like if a friend loaned you money, paying off that kind of debt. I feel like this debt is really weighing on you though. But here's the thing. I think for some of you, especially with Neptune being pulled, that makes me nervous because Neptune deals with addictions. So I wonder if some of you have shopping addictions, or like you spend more than you should, and it's almost like very addictive. And with Neptune too, it makes me think of somebody who's very like a la-di-da-di-da, maybe a little bit ditzy. So not, and with it saying vision too, that makes me believe that you aren't very good at financial planning or looking to the future to see how your finances could have an impact on you. Maybe you've been really behind on credit card payments, and this could indicate that you'll finally catch up and be able to pay off the credit card debt that you have. Any debt that you have, you'll be able to pay off. That will be your next big celebration. And it says just a few more months. Good things come to those who wait. I think a lot of you have been wanting to pay off these debts already, but it's just you haven't had the money. Or maybe, here's the thing, some of you could right now finally have the money to do so. Spirit is saying if you can, try to wait, or try not to put all the money into that right now. For some reason, it would be better for you to wait a bit to be able to pay off any debts that you have right now. And again, this mainly involves financial debts, but it could be something else as well, any other sort of debt. Nothing really comes to mind, especially just because this whole spread really deals with finances in my opinion. But it also could be like, for example, applying for a loan or applying for a mortgage. Some of that kind of stuff can take a long time. If you're putting in an offer on a house, these things can take a long time. Or if you're doing fertility treatments, putting a lot of money into that. that could take a long time for there to finally be reward or to see debts being paid off. So even for some of you, it could be, I don't know why, but pregnancy is popping in as well, which is very interesting. Other than just fertility, but yeah, pregnancy, if you're waiting to get pregnant. That's really interesting. And that could be too because Spirit is waiting for you to, in that kind of situation or something similar, it could be that Spirit is waiting for you to get your ducks in a row, to get everything in order in your life, to prepare before any other big life events or changes happen, or before you make any other big purchases, even if you can't afford it. There's a sense that if financial debts don't need to be paid off, there needs to be better planning for this big celebration that will be happening. I feel like for a lot of you, this celebration isn't just going to be this minor thing. It's going to be pretty big. Not having financial debt is huge, so that's a really good thing. But maybe you've just been in debt for so long, or you grew up in poverty. For some of you, it could be you're going to finally get a raise, or you're going to get a job somewhere with better pay. But ultimately, it's about being in better financial standing and paying off any debts that you have. That will be the most important part of whatever this change and celebration is about. And it's really cool how I pulled both patience and amazing chemistry, terrible timing, because again, it says just a few more months. So waiting a few more months, if you can, would be helpful. Or maybe if you're just waiting for something to happen, waiting a few months will allow for it to happen. Even like getting proposed to, those kinds of things, like it's just like, it's gonna happen, don't worry. Like maybe finances is the reason why you can't be proposed to right now, you know, those kinds of things. A lot of this ties back into money and finances. And some of you too maybe have never been able to put much money into your savings account, so now after a few months from now, I would say you can maybe look into starting to do that, or putting money into retirement and really doing that future planning. We do have Neptune vision here, so if you're able to not only pay off debts, clear any financial debts, but also put money into savings or put money into like stocks. I don't know much about stocks, so like don't take my word for that. I don't have any money in stocks, so whatever will set you up for the future would be important, so that you don't have to be in any sticky situations in the future financially. And there's just a sense of like a weight being lifted off of I'm feeling it, like, I know people say weight lifted off your shoulders, but I like feeling the chest. I feel like this is something that has been weighing heavily on you, and it's affecting your heart chakras. For some reason, I feel like I gotta say that. So work on your heart chakra for some of you if that resonates with you. But I want to go back to the overspending part again, because not only do we have Neptune here with that, 8 of Pentacles is literally about, it can be about overworking yourself, but it's also about not planning for the future as it relates to career or finances. And then we also have, with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, that is about literally overspending and not saving. With the 9 of Swords in reverse, that indicates to me that this will be a time of not having to worry anymore about finances, even though there's been some financial mistakes. And remember to not shame yourself for any mistakes you've made, because that makes it worse, and that's where we get those addictive dopamine or serotonin rushes from shopping or overspending or whatever. And for those of you who are planning on a big purchase, I see that the big purchase, if you, again, just wait a little bit more, that it would be beneficial to do that, and that everything will be, like, fine. Everything will be okay, everything will be, I'm getting, like, the heads up. Now I'm seeing heads up 7-up in my mind's eye, but really, it's like having your head down, having your thumb up, waiting for somebody to touch your thumb, and somebody's touched your thumb, and now you have it down, and now you're just waiting for them to say heads up 7-up, so you can pop up and be like, I know what it is. I know who it is. It's that person. That analogy, for those of you who know that game, it will make sense. But there really is a sense that things will, in general, this will be something really big for a lot of you, and it feels more like things will be neutral after, how do I explain it? Like, this celebration isn't anything to poo-poo on, but it also feels like it's more so of a neutral thing, like it's just a part of life is what I want to say. Interesting. Yeah, so if you're back to normalcy for your finances, then this can just indicate, okay, I'm back to normal. I don't have to worry anymore. Now I'll just maintain. There's a lot about maintenance that I have to say. Maintenance. So maintaining good financial standing. And I see that for a lot of you, you honestly will probably falter in the future for those of you who are thinking about clearing out financial debts. But remember that if you have a vision, Neptune vision, if you have vision, then you'll be able to see how... Ooh, okay. Yeah, if you have a vision, and I think if you like write things down, or if you have visuals somewhere, it will help you to remember. Having something to remember to be better with your finances. Any type of financial planner, you should contact them. They could be able to help you out a lot. I think actually getting external help with your finances would be very helpful. And if you're not good with taxes, like consulting a tax specialist, I think though having a list of things you want and the things you need, like on your phone or in your journal, could be helpful too, because if there's really something you want, like you spend a lot, this is a thing too, some of you could cut back spending in general. So right now is a good time to cut back on spending on things that aren't necessary. So get groceries, but don't go out to eat or get DoorDash or Uber Eats 2 times a week. Eat from home, make ahead meals from home. Now is a really good time to cut back on spending and realizing your wants versus your needs. Cutting out the things that aren't necessary will be very beneficial for you, and then you won't have to worry as much about your finances. And I think you'll also eventually, maybe not at first, but eventually you'll feel better, like you're responsible. You'll feel a lot more responsible within a few more months from now, or whenever these debts are cleared, and you'll know that it's because of the hard work you've put in. And this I feel like for some of you I have to say mentality shift. That's really important to say, mentality shift. There's something else I wanted to say. Sometimes it's like there's not much going on in my intuitive mind, and then all of a sudden like a bunch of messages come in at once, and I'm like, how am I supposed to explain all this? And then I forget some of the messages sometimes. Like, what are other ways in which... I just feel like there's more ways than that. But yeah, going out to eat is a big one, you know? Getting coffee. If you're able to make it at home, going to the office and get coffee, or just not get coffee as much. Stuff like that is very important. Like, finding alternatives is something I want to say. So if there's something that's a want for you, but you could have an alternative that's cheaper, doing stuff like that too will help you shift your mindset, and also will be better for your bank and for your savings account. And I think, yeah, so the main celebration will be about clearing financial debts, or for some of you making a bigger purchase. And if you are making a bigger purchase, try to save up as much as you can right now and like cut back where it's needed. But if you have to have a waiting period, such as like putting in an offer on a house, then don't worry about things happening or not happening. I see for a lot of you, things will be able to happen in those situations if you have to wait. You just have to be patient. And also with patience too, it could be about if you are making a big purchase, that you'll be able to not be as deeply affected by that financially if you put forward enough financial planning, and if you think ahead and have that vision like Neptune says. And yeah, so for some of you, visualizing could be very helpful too. Like imagining you with a lot of money, but then realizing like, hey, I can have a lot more money if I'm better with my finances. So I will leave it at that. Also, some of you, yeah, never mind. I was going to say some of you could be lucky around this time this time of the year. I don't know. During this time, you could be more lucky, but I don't really actually get that. I feel like you'll have to put in hard work. It's not about luck, it's about putting in the hard work. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, 2B, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I couldn't give... Well, actually, I was going to say not give a specific time, but it's just not now. It's within around a few months away from now. You can like the video if you liked it. You can comment down below if you resonate with the stack, and you can update your comment again in the future if you have any updates for all of us to read. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel, and I also have an ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR, that will be linked in the video description. Thank you so much again, 2B, and take care. Hello 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards here are the Chariot upright, the Moon upright, and the Knight of Cups in reverse. And then we have, for the Oracle cards, Declutter. It says, you'll feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. And then for the other Oracle cards, we have Square / Semi-Square / King Kunks. I always probably say it wrong. And it says Tension. We have Someone Else, someone is in the middle, someone is trying to sabotage this, and we have March. So I know March is quite a ways away, but it's what I pulled, so I'm not gonna just put it back in. So yeah, there could be celebrations in between, but this is obviously a celebration that Spirit wants to highlight for you. But I will say, this isn't necessarily like a happy spread. For a lot of you, I will say that this celebration likely involves an ex, like an ex-romantic partner. And it could even deal with an ex, not an ex, but it could deal with a family member or a past non-loved one. It could deal with somebody in your life in general who you've had a strained relationship with, or somebody who you've lost and you're still in the process of grieving. Before I forget, I'm going to go into the guidebook right away so that I can read the Square King Kunks card. It won't be on the screen, but I'll still be reading this little excerpt. Okay. Challenge. This is a workout of body, mind, or spirit, and workouts can be tiring. Gift. Take this opportunity to build strength and learn to reconcile the conflicts within. When you can resolve internal conflicts, it is easier to resolve external ones. So let's talk about, for a lot of you, how this could deal with a romantic relationship. For some of you, the next celebration could be that you're in a different relationship starting in March, and that helps you with healing from a previous relationship or multiple different previous relationships. For a very, very select few of you, maybe like one of you, this could indicate getting back together with an ex, but I really doubt it. And also it says someone else too, even though it says the sabotage part. But for some of you, I think it could be about finally in March being romantically involved with someone else. For many of you, though, I think, especially with the Declutter card, it makes me think that you'll finally, in March, be over somebody, and or you'll finally get rid of some of their belongings that you've been holding on to. There's a lot of grief tied into this stack, so, and with tension too, I think a lot of you will feel a lot lighter once you get rid of the things that used to belong to your ex. Even if they're like really cool things, it would just be better energetically to get rid of them and not have that energy attached to you in any way. For some of you too, with the someone else card, I have to say probably your relationship got broken up because you or your partner may have cheated, likely the partner based off of the spread. So the partner that you used to have likely has cheated, and that's probably left you with many issues to have to work through and possibly trust issues. And with the Chariot being upright, this is indicative of Spirit that healing can take time. And with the Moon, it indicates that healing can be painful. It can be, things can be traumatic to live through again. And I think the longer we put things off, it can be harder to get around to doing the healing that's needed, the healing work. But anyway, I feel like, somebody could have been involved, like somebody could have cheated, or there could have been, for example, your family or the other person's family or friends breaking up the relationship in a way, like getting in the way because of not thinking that you're good enough for your ex-partner and vice versa. With the Knight of Cups in reversal, it lends me to believe that either your partner had cheated, your ex-partner had cheated, or also for some of you, this could indicate that in March, like you're with somebody and all this happens, but hopefully not. Hopefully you don't get cheated on or anything like that in March. But the Knight of Cups in reverse, I'm just going to keep referring to this person as an ex, but the ex could be somebody who was emotionally manipulative, could have cheated, or the love just could have gone away in some way, but in a way that isn't just like, oh yeah, I guess we grew apart. It's a lot deeper than that. And with the moon upright, I think there's a lot you've had to process because of that. Having to remember that, for example, if your partner did cheat on you, it's not because of you, it's not your fault that the other person decided to cheat. And also, yeah, I think a lot of you have developed trust issues and maybe are very combative even in relationships. Like, it's probably very hard for people to get let into your inner circle and for you to feel safe with people. And it can take a while probably for your walls to be broken down. So with the declutter, it's not just about physical items, it's also about decluttering your mind. So what things do you need to work on? What bad habits and bad thoughts have you taken on as a result of this ex or this past relationship? Or this bad, romantically or sexually involved situation? What ways has that affected you that you need to undo that learning or undo those bad habits or thoughts? And I see it being very difficult for you to even open up to yourself in this way, but I see it being something that's important. And I see this happening, like a big breakthrough could be happening in March. Or maybe you'll gain some sort of clarity for the situation, and it will just make you realize your own self-worth. Maybe you can get some extra or outside information from somebody else here, so maybe you'll get information about karma coming back to this person in some way. But ultimately, with the Chariot and the Moon, it makes me think that this is something that you'll have to work hard through, that it won't be easy, but that healing is a longer journey. Healing isn't meant to happen overnight, and there's a lot of things you need to undo and remove from your space. It can be hard too if you, for example, live in the same place that your partner also lived in, your ex-partner, or if they didn't live there, they just would go there a lot. It can be really difficult for that kind of stuff to happen. So for some of you, you could be moving out of that space in March. Even for some of you, you could be moving out of the location of where your partner lives. So like a town, a city, you could be moving elsewhere. Maybe it's also hard because you fear of running into them. If you live close together, or if you have like the same friend groups, or yes, similar line of work. Any of that. Some of this too could indicate to me that you've lost some friends because of the whole situation. Like maybe people chose the other person's side, or maybe, you became friends with that person's friends, but then they, didn't want to talk to you anymore after the situation happened because they were ultimately originally your ex's friends. Now I want to talk about the other side of this, where some of you could be still grieving the loss of a loved one. Also, what I said before, for the most part, applies to any sort of toxic relationship too, like a friend or family member having to work through those issues, getting rid of any physical belongings that you have that used to belong to them, or any gifts that you've received from them. It's good to clear those things out. Any sort of toxic relationship, it's good to clear things out and also work mentally and emotionally through those things. Talking to a therapist if you are able to, and slowly but surely healing from those relationships. But for some of you, this could also deal with the grieving of a loved one who has passed, and that, with the Knight of Cups being reversed, indicates to me that this grief, I don't think will ever go away, but I think something could happen in March. Maybe March is like the month when this person has their death anniversary, or you could celebrate their birthday, or maybe like if they were a partner, you could celebrate the anniversary of you meeting or getting married, any of that. There's something about March that could be a significant date for the grief. But it feels like, yeah, the grieving process I don't think will ever go away for you. But something could happen in March that could be worth celebrating. So you could, yeah, again, celebrate any of the things I'd already listed or something else. Also, you could do something in March that honors this passed on loved one in some way, and so that could be a way to celebrate them, or you could go somewhere to, like, bury their ashes. You could visit their gravesite. There's something celebratory in relation to that departed person that I think will be very healing for you and will be a release for you. And for some of you, too, if you've been bottling up your emotions for whatever the situation is, it feels like March will be a good month for emotional release, where it feels like there's been a buildup of tension and emotions that need to be released. So March could be a good time to finally fully grieve whatever the situation, whether it's the loss of a loved one or a past relationship. It feels like there's a need to grieve heavily in March. But, okay, let me think more about... Someone else could, if you're grieving the passing of a loved one, or you've been doing that, you're celebrating something, there's a sense that in that situation you could relate to somebody else in March, and that will bring a lot of closure or healing in that situation. I feel like the more I try to think more specifically about that, though, Spirit's like, no, they'll know what you mean if it relates, so... Yeah, but I mean, it could be somebody else related to you, or a family member of them, a friend of them, that could provide, like, they could give something to you, like a keepsake or a memorabilia or a picture, something like that. Also, when I earlier pulled March, I heard... marching to the beat of your own drum. So for some of you, this could just indicate that healing, again, is your own process. So try not to think too much about what other people do or what other people say in regards to any sort of grief or how they've dealt with a toxic relationship. Focus more on what works for you, and try not to... just try not to think too much about what other people say that they've done, because nobody lives the exact specific situation that you do or that you have lived. And I'm just hearing that in March, don't be afraid to, really emotional release, but like I have to emphasize letting loose. So, when I try to dive deeper into that, Spirit is just saying, like, no, just let it be. So I feel like there's a lot of personal things that you still have to work through, so that Spirit's like, it's personal, you don't have to, like, express too much, that they'll know what you mean. So, okay, is there any other context I should provide here? I think also with the Chariot, Spirit wants to remind you to not give up on yourself and on your healing. I think some of you just keep putting it off, or not, you don't even think about it. But Spirit is saying that it's important for you on your soul's journey to heal from anything, and that you shouldn't give up on yourself, is what I'm hearing. Don't give up on yourself just because something didn't work out, or somebody gave up on you, or somebody's not here anymore. It doesn't mean that you have to give up. Life is not over. There's more life to be lived, but there's a lot of healing that needs to be done in the meantime for you to get to more of a place of happiness. Because some of you, I think, have had... there's some sadness, quite a bit actually, with this stack. So to return to being more relaxed, calm, and stress-free, you have to allow yourself to get to that point. A lot of you are not allowing yourself to be free or to be healed. And that's something that I think is important to say before I close this out. So thank you so much, 3C, for watching and listening to this video. I hope it was insightful in some way or healing. You can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with the stack. And you can update the comment in the future if you have any updates for us all. You can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. And you can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. I also have an ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR, that you can check out in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 3C, and take care.